people who do buy our lower ticket offers, they're likely to then also invest in something else. A lot of them are actually inbound leads. They end up messaging us because of our content. Lower ticket offers, monetization wise, they don't play a massive role. Number wise, it's usually just, as you said, it's a signal. Someone purchased a $30, $50 product, they are our hottest leads in the next. They are the people we pay more attention to.
If you have a list of people of whom some are buyers and some have not bought before, the buyers list is 20 times more likely to buy the next thing. They've bought from you before, they liked you, they trust you, they got good experience, they gave you some money and they get more value back. And they're like, cool, great, what else you got? Hello and welcome to the Art of Selling Online Courses. We are here to share winning strategies and secret hacks from top performers in the online course industry. My name is John Ainsworth and today's guest is Sinem Günel. Now Sinem is a writer, entrepreneur and co-founder of Write, Build, Scale, a publication and a business that helps online creators grow and monetize their audience, which is something we work on a lot here. She built a six-figure writing business, turning her content into products and systems and communities. And today she teaches creators how to do the same without burning out. Sinem, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So who is it? Talk me through in a little bit more detail. Who do you help with your courses and what kind of problem are you solving for them?
Ideally, you are a coach, consultant, expert who is really passionate about a specific field, a specific part of your knowledge, and you want to take that knowledge into the online world. So a lot of our clients are, they have this deep expertise. They've been working in that field for a long time, but they haven't done anything in the online world. And what we do is basically help them get their message out into the world because they've been used to doing one-on-one work and there is a leverage that they can build.
So what kind of model do you use? Do you get them to do like group coaching or online coaching, or like are you like, how does it work? What do you support them to do?
Very different, actually. We have clients that we help build low ticket offers first because monetization is not their primary goal in the beginning. We help other clients start off with higher tiered one-on-one coaching programs. Some, of course, build courses. What we love to teach is particularly mini courses. So a really specific outcome that the course viewer can basically achieve. We found that that works really well for our audience because they do want to build courses and different kinds of digital products, but it can be really overwhelming to build this massive course. And we found that mini courses, it's easy to create, but it's also easier to communicate the value. So it's easier to sell and they can create wins for their customers more easily because it's usually a very specific hands-on topic.
So what's kind of the requirement for working with you guys? Is it to be an expert or is it an expert plus to have started building some kind of an audience? Like, are you helping them to kind of build the audience as well?
We help them build their audience. Not necessarily a requirement, but the best place to start is you at least you can articulate who you want to help through your content. That's the ideal starting point. We can help you figure out how exactly your messaging should position you or what kind of content will help you best reach that target audience. But if you're like, oh, I just want to write and do online stuff, it's going to be hard to find that starting point, right? So ideally, at least you have your expertise and you know, okay, this is what I want to create content about. Or you say you're deeply curious about something. You don't need to be an expert yet, but you need to have a genuine curiosity and passion about a topic so that you're really willing to spend lots and lots of hours kind of exploring that specific field.
Where are you helping people to build an audience? Because I know you do a lot on Substack, right?
Exactly. We've been on Substack for the past year. That's a large part of our content library and the efforts that we spend building our content, and that's also what we help our clients do because we see that it's easier than on most other platforms right now if you focus on writing specific content, like written content. We've been on Medium for a very long time. That's what we helped a lot of writers do over the past 5 years. The majority of our clients and our audience, they want to primarily write. So we are focusing on platforms that help them prioritize writing, and then if they use other outlets, that's fine, but we always start with the written content.
Do you think that you said that like most of your clients want primarily to write? Do you think that's because you're talking about that, so the people you're attracting are the ones who want to write, or is there something about the type of people that you work with? Because like nearly all of our clients are YouTubers, and then secondarily is like Instagram. So that's really interesting to hear. Like writing is somehow out of fashion at the moment, in our world, in the people that I'm working with. But you're saying like, no, everybody wants to write. So why do you think that is?
I wouldn't say everybody wants to write, but yeah, that's our messaging, and it's the people we are attracting. I mean, it's in the brand name, right? We're Write, Build, Scale, so we always start with writing. I mean, I am on YouTube now, but for me, even YouTube has a strong writing focus, actually, when you start writing the script, because as an educational YouTuber, the writing part, the script has, is a kind of bulk of the creation process. But yeah, our audience, typically, they don't want to do video, especially short form video, for example. Looking at me, most of my clients and most of the people who consume large parts of our content, all of them are like double my age. They don't want to play around in Canva and stuff. They are really passionate about their expertise. They know what they're talking about, but they want to get it across clearly and simply. And they're fine kind of figuring out all the tech that goes into building an online business. But a lot of them actually tell us they loved writing as a kid, or they loved writing at a specific part in their career, but it kind of got lost. And now they're combining this lost passion with their existing knowledge and whatever they want to help their audience achieve. It just seems to click really well for most of them.
So then what's the next step? Let's say somebody is going down the model of creating courses, whether it's the mini courses, like you're saying, or the slightly bigger ones. What's kind of the next thing that you're teaching someone to do? They've started building an audience, they're building a course. Like how are they selling the course to their audience? What's your model?
We usually say there are two ways, and which way they pick will depend on their personality, on their goals, and a lot of different factors. So either we help them build out the course because they already have something very specific in mind, or they have lots of resources they have used in the offline world and they basically want to turn that into a course. If quick monetization is a goal, we will try to make sure that the course is actually priced higher, or there's a group coaching element, or even a one-on-one element to it, and they can sell even without having a large audience. That might be DM outreach, it might be collaborations, it might be affiliate partnerships, a lot of other options. Or they say they don't feel confident or comfortable, selling a higher priced product now. And for some, higher priced can even mean like a $500 course. And they want to start with very low ticket offers first. Then we will make sure that they have a solid content strategy, they are building their audience more quickly, and they can still start experimenting with those lower ticket offers, but they'll have to know that monetization will just take longer.
One of the things that I bang on about on this podcast, and I've started getting through to a few people, I talk to a lot of people about this individually, is like selling higher ticket offers. Because nearly all of our clients, right, nearly everybody I talk to they're in the course space, they've got Teachable, or they've got Thinkific or Kajabi or something like that. They're hosting their courses. They love the idea of, I'm selling this thing and the delivery's so easy. You just don't have to do any delivery. It's just like all online. And it's great, right? It is great. But from a financial point of view, if you have a high ticket offer on the back end of that, you make so much more money. Like there's a Scott from Scott's Base Lessons, a client of ours, he came on the podcast a while ago, and he'd added $1 million in revenue. He already had a multi-million-dollar business. So it's not like starting from scratch, but he had $1 million in revenue by adding in a like high ticket program. So he was selling his like $39 a month membership, and then he sold a $10,000 a year high ticket thing. I've just helped my friend who's running another music business. He was like, he's kind of just getting going. He's like 18 months in, something like that. And he was like, I could really do with some more money. And he set up a high ticket offer of like, a year's coaching and some one-to-one lessons and all this kind of thing. And he's like added another, like I think over $10,000 in revenue so far in the last week by doing that, when he was like, building up the course sales to that level takes ages. What do you say to people? How do you get people on board with this idea of like, Are you just saying to somebody if they want to do the one-to-one or group coaching or whatever, cool, great, we'll help you to do it? Or are you like trying to get people on board? And in which case, how do you sell the concept of that?
We actually do both. It's
Okay.
funny you mentioned this because yesterday we hosted a workshop all about how to set up and sell your first high ticket offer, because we want our people to think about it a lot more, especially if we're talking about people who have a deep expertise, who are not just like dabbling around. They have proof of concept. They have worked with a lot of people offline. They have coached them. They have led groups. They can help others, and
Yeah.
that's worth paying a higher price for. But oftentimes it's actually a confidence issue. It's like, can I really charge like, I don't know, $3,000, $5,000, whatever it is, to coach somebody online? Is it really worth it? Is it going to be worth it?
Yeah.
And
You mean, is it worth it for the person paying for it?
exactly, like,
Interesting. Okay.
how would that transaction happen? Because even our coaches, consultants, those people that I call experts, of course, some of them, they had their own practices, they've been self-employed, but a lot of them have not been self-employed or haven't been in an entrepreneurial journey so far. So even if they have worked with clients, it's been in a traditional employment status. So they have never been the person actually charging the client, which now is a significant shift, right?
Yeah.
And if you do the math, it should be very logical, but I find that usually it's more of an emotional topic in terms of, can I charge this much? Why would anybody pay that much? And you basically always have to remind yourself of what are they saving by getting that transformation so much faster, right? It's pretty easy to articulate that transformation when you're in the business marketing space, because usually you save time, you make more money more quickly, so the ROI is quite obvious, or can be quite obvious. It's not that easy to articulate when you are in health, wellness, fitness, in parenting, relationships. You just have to dig a little bit deeper to kind of articulate that value for your audience, or for your potential customer, but then also kind of convince yourself that it's fine and you are going to be able to deliver the value of that high amount that you're charging.
And I think it's it isn't, it's the same kind of pushback I get from people. It's like that, nobody will pay that much, or, how are people? It's like, because some people have money and they want to solve the problem faster and they want your help. It's like, that's kind of it.
There are so many things where I'm like, why the hell do people pay for that, right? And it's not even always expensive things. Sometimes it's very low priced things. Like if we look at lifestyle items and purchases, some people also just, they want that VIP status. They want to work with you because they've read your content, they've watched your content, and they feel compelled to actually work with you personally. And even if they could implement everything based on your written content, they want to have that personal touch, and they are able to pay for it.
Yeah. And it's like, people will pay so much more money to get personal attention along with the stuff that you're teaching. It's like, I was chatting with my friend Christopher. So he has a musicality course business, and he was selling courses he still is selling courses for like $200, $300, $100, whatever, this kind of thing, right? Normal, standard, teachable prices. And I'd been banging on at him for ages to add in a high ticket offer, and he kept not doing it. And then I talked to him one day, and he'd started doing a high ticket offer for $10,000 a year. And I was just like, whoa, that's way more than I was thinking you'd be able to charge. And he's like, it completely changed his business and added loads of like revenue into it. And all these people, and he's like, people would say to him, so what are we going to cover in this? Is it, and he's like, exactly the same stuff that I teach in all the courses. We're just going to like go through it together, and we're going to make sure that you do it. Yeah. And he said, like so many of his clients, they had learned all the stuff, they'd taken it and they'd done some bits, but they just weren't doing it all consistently. They didn't have the accountability, they didn't have the feedback, what have you. And it's just like, that's what people need to like get to the next level. And if someone's got the money, to pay for it, then it's like, great, it works. You know, we all know that lots of people don't finish all the online courses. I still think they're incredibly valuable because you get access to all of someone's insights for like $200. It's like, it can't be on them as well to make sure you finish it. But like, but it's like, it is helpful to also get the coaching alongside it as well.
Yeah. And honestly, what we have also seen, especially in the last, I would say 16 months or so, is most of our one-on-one, like higher ticket clients, they explicitly don't want the course because they are at a stage where they have taken a lot of courses and they are overwhelmed by the amount of resources that can be available in a course. And they're like, I have an ADHD brain. This is too much. I don't want all the resources and videos. Tell me what to do and I will do it. And these often do end up being our most successful clients because they basically follow through. But it would be like, they know that it would be impossible for them to follow through on a course and be active in a community and engage in a group coaching session because it's too much. And all our programs, actually, like anything that is not on the low ticket end, they come with community access, they come with group coaching sessions. But our VIP clients, they explicitly don't want to be part of the community. Because if you're paying $3,000, $5,000 for the VIP tier, we're happy to also add you to the community for a quarter. But that's not what they want. They want a step-by-step checklist, and they want you to follow up with them in the next call, ask them what they did, what has worked out, what hasn't worked out. And that's been incredibly valuable to learn as well, because when you start out, you might be compelled to just put as much value as possible into a course and just make it as big and valuable as possible. But that's not necessarily what people are looking for. They're different learning experiences, different learning paths. And while a full-blown course is the right choice for some people, other people don't want the content. They want you to kind of hold their hand.
What do you do with your own business in terms of making sales? Because it sounds like you've got a range of these tiers as well. You've got the low ticket courses, you've got the group coaching, you've got the one-to-one high ticket stuff. How are you selling to your audience? Is a lot of it through email? Are you doing a lot of DMs like you mentioned earlier? Like, what kind of approach are you using?
Very different at different stages. So we obviously have our automated email funnels. We do live launches. Around 3 times a year, we will do a live webinar where we have affiliate partners who promote the webinar with us. And then we will have a special offer. This is usually for one of our courses that are priced around $500. With our VIP clients, what we've found lately is a lot of them are actually inbound leads. They end up messaging us because of our content. And then through a DM conversation, we figure out that the VIP tier might be a good fit for them. That's what we call our higher ticket offers. It's usually a VIP tier. And then either there is a discovery call or they go straight into the coaching package and start working with us in the one-on-ones.
Okay. So emails and webinars at the low end and kind of direct messages, a lot of people messaging you is kind of some of the higher ticket stuff.
Yeah, so that's actually been surprising because we found, because we have sold our higher ticket offers mostly through DMs, we thought, okay, let's have more DM conversations because we're running the business as a team of 3 and all 3 of us are creating content. So we reach a lot of different audience members who just resonate with one of us or one message or one voice. And they're still in the list and they are aware of our offers, right? But we found that even the people who engage with our content, DMing them and kind of trying to filter is extremely time consuming, right? Even until you get to the point where you figure out if someone is looking for support, and then you have to figure out if they'd be willing to pay a premium fee. But the people who reach out to us, even if it's a comment, if there is a meaningful comment, we try to follow up. We try to be really careful about the comments on our content or the email responses we get. We always encourage responses. We want to learn if people are applying something that we teach in a video or in an article. We always encourage them to share what has been most helpful, what's their biggest struggle. And we try to follow up exactly there because those are people who are more likely to then respond back to us and where we're more likely to have a meaningful conversation, which might end up in a higher ticket sale.
Okay, so so rather than you going out and DMing a whole load of people, because a lot of them won't be the right people, you're trying to follow up with the people who've messaged you or commented on your posts or this kind of thing. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do something kind of similar. We got something where we're always looking for people who are raising their hand in some way. So there'll be like lots of opportunities in different places for someone to kind of show that they're interested. So maybe somebody registers for a webinar, or we have a Q&A session, or we have a what else do we do? We sell like a low ticket when we sell a low ticket course, we'll follow up with those people to be like, hey, I saw that you whatever signed up for such and such a thing. How did you find it? What are you working on at the moment? And then you can just more easily see, because those are the people who are they've raised their hand to say, I'm interested in some help right now. So that's one part of the puzzle. It doesn't mean they're the right fit, doesn't mean that they want to pay more money for it, but it's like one part of the puzzle. The other ones I do is when somebody fills in, someone signs up for a lead magnet, we've got on our confirmation page after that a form where they can tell us a bit more about themselves. And so if they fill that in and they are running a kind of business that sounds like a really good fit, then I'll follow up with those people as well. And so that's like just a kind of an ongoing trickle, kind of always something happening there that occasionally you go, oh, yes, you're exactly the kind of person we should be having a proper conversation with as well. Interesting. Okay. What do you find for you guys? Where does most of your revenue come from? Is it from the higher ticket stuff that you've got, or the lower ticket offers, or is it kind of a 50-50? What's the split?
So our live launches are usually when, a big chunk of revenue comes in within a very short period. Obviously, that's usually a 1-week promo period. Also, during our live launches, when you purchase a product, an online course, you get the option to upgrade to the VIP tier, which will then come with one-on-one calls. So some of our VIP clients also join the course, but then they either immediately upgrade or they immediately message us saying, will this offer be available later on if I'm, halfway done through the course and, then I want some personal support. So even if a bit harder to track, because if a client purchases the VIP program a month after joining the course, but they joined the course through a live launch, that's happening a lot of times too. Our lower ticket offers, monetization wise, they don't play a massive role. Primarily also because we only grow organically, so we don't have a massive amount of low ticket sales. Number wise, it's usually just, as you said, it's the signal. Someone purchased a $30, $50 product, they are our hottest leads in the next launch. They are the people we pay more attention to. They are also on Substack. We have a paid tier, for example. It's $10 a month, or on a discounted plan it might be way less on an annual plan. That's not a whole lot of money that we make there. We're at 600 paid subscribers right now, but these are kind of our premium readers, our premium subscribers that we know have the highest potential to purchase anything else that we will offer. But the bulk of the revenues, courses, and then the higher ticket offers. But the higher ticket offers are still relatively new to us as well. So that's something we've been paying more attention to for the last 3 months.
Yeah.
And we'll keep experimenting more with it in the future.
It's one of those ones I find it quite interesting to see the split, because every business, there are some people who will buy the low ticket and some people will pay for the high ticket. But every business, every industry, the kind of percentage will change, the balance will change, So from what I've seen, at least, do you ever see Perry Marshall's stuff about this, about the 80-20 curve?
No. So I know the 80-20 principle in general, but
okay. So the 80-20 curve is kind of based on that, but it's if you look at the structure of it, instead of it being, it's basically like a parabola. I think that's the right word, where it goes, up like dramatically all the way up into the on the right hand side. And it's if you go to 8020curve.com, actually, I'm going to pull this up. So I'll describe this for you if you are watching, if you are listening and you're not watching. But I just want to show you kind of, if I can get it up, how this works. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can kind of follow along. So let me share screen. All right. So the idea is, Perry Marshall, he wrote 80-20 Sales and Marketing. Great book about like how to use 80-20. And have you read it?
No, I have it on my Kindle. I downloaded it a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. So it's a great book about using the 80/20 rule within marketing. So like every chapter is so short, so to the point, but it's like 15, 20 different ways of using 80/20 rule within marketing and business, which is absolutely fantastic. The idea of it is something he calls the espresso machine principle.
Hmm.
So if you go to Starbucks, everybody's buying a cup of coffee for like whatever, I don't know, $5, right? $10, I don't
Yeah.
know. Somebody in that group will buy the espresso machine that they
Yeah.
use for making the coffee themselves. You can pretty much mathematically predict it. As in, if you had this many people paying $10, then you get one person in whatever it is, 200 who'll buy the $2,000 espresso machine, something like that. I think that it's not my experience so far, at least, has been it's not quite as simple as that. That the numbers kind of vary a bit. B2C, if you're doing consumer-based stuff and you're selling the low-ticket courses, a small percentage will buy the very expensive things,
Yeah.
the coaching, whatever. But if you're helping people to make money, then a much higher percentage will buy the more expensive thing because they can get
Yeah.
that money back faster. That's been my experience with it. Like if I look at my business, a tiny percentage of our revenue comes from the low-ticket offers that we have, the courses and what have you. Whereas the vast majority comes from like one-to-one coaching and done for you services that we're doing. So there's
Yeah.
loads more people are willing to pay for that kind of expensive thing. And that makes sense because we can make them a lot more money back. But if they were learning how to play the classical guitar, then I think it's a smaller percentage.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, what we have seen for years is people who do buy our lower ticket offers, they're likely to then also invest in something else. Like this simple principle of buyers buy again. I think,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the creator economy, no matter if you're in the creator space and talk about making money or about any other topic, if you get people to trust you and invest in lower ticket offers and they actually enjoy what they purchase, they're so much more likely to invest later on. We have, like, percentage wise, a very low percentage of our overall customers have only purchased with us once. A
Mm.
lot of them, like we see that so often. Someone has joined a paid challenge for $20 like 3 years ago, and it was a completely different subject. Maybe they joined a webinar or a challenge about writing on Medium, but now 3 years later they purchase a course or a coaching package about writing on Substack. Like if they
Mm.
follow along for so long and they already had one positive experience, they are just waiting for the right moment to invest. And sometimes it just clicks.
Yeah. When we've done studies of it before with our clients, we found that if you have a list of people of whom some are buyers and some have not bought before, the buyers list is 20 times more likely to buy the next thing than the non-buyers. And some of it is some of those people in the non-buyers list, they just don't tend to buy that kind of thing or
Mhm.
whatever. But a big part of it is they've bought from you before, they liked you, they trust you, they got good experience, they gave you some money and they get more value back. And they're like, cool, great. What else you got? So
Yeah.
that's a really big part of it, I think. Tell me about for your email marketing, your funnels, your webinars, etc. What's something that you're working on improving? What's something you'd like to be better in there?
Our Evergreen funnels are a work in process right now because we have built and launched several different offers over the past year. And we have always live launched them first. And now we're basically in the process of also setting up the Evergreen funnels. We
Yeah.
have done typical like email courses or freebies and then email sales sequence in the past, but we have lots of room for experimentation there, whether it's pre-recorded webinars or doing webinars a lot more often, live webinars, and all the other ways that you can basically sell your products on Evergreen. Those are still up for experimentation for us because yeah, we have the offers up now. We have the proof of concept. We have live launched them 2 or 3 times, and now it's time to also put them behind the email funnels so that we free up some of our time.
So what's the challenge with that? Is it just a case of go through and set everything up, or there's some stuff that you're trying to figure out and make sense of?
With the email sales funnel itself, it's just go through it and set it up. Everything that we haven't done before is basically let's try to find out what's the biggest potential sales item that is worth exploring first or most. For example, evergreen webinars, do they even still work? Do people pay attention to them? Are
Yeah.
people sick and tired of watching something pre-recorded? We basically don't know as of now because we haven't done recorded webinars.
Mm.
And yeah, all the other elements, right? Pre-recorded challenge, surveys, everything that you can do on the evergreen end.
Gotcha. Yeah, we haven't done evergreen ones in a little while. So when we do webinars, they still work like gangbusters. They're fantastic. Uh,
Live?
Live, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't done
Yeah, same.
evergreen ones in a little while. My experience with them when I've done them before is that they would convert something like 50 to 60% as well as the live ones, because you don't have, the feedback and everybody in there together, and people kind of know it's not live, what have you. It varies quite a lot by market. So I've got a
Mm.
friend who runs language courses in Slovenia, and Slovenia is not as au fait with all of the modern marketing techniques as the English speaking world, because they haven't been bombarded with so many, because there aren't so many people trying to sell stuff online in Slovenia.
Yeah.
So you can kind of get away with a lot of stuff that maybe worked
Yeah.
really well 10 years ago. You can still
Yeah.
do it there, and it's great. You can just always look at, well, what was working 10 years ago in English speaking countries, and do that, and it's like, great, just all works great. So that's quite interesting to see. Older audiences,
Yeah.
people where they're less aware that it's automated, what have you, that tends to kind of, lead to it working better. Selling to marketers, nightmare. Because marketers know all the techniques and whatever, and they're like sick of it before anybody else is. So I think that kind of has an effect on it. So
Yeah.
it'd be really interesting to see for you, how does doing it evergreen work?
I mean, it has worked well in the past, but it's always been like the last thing with it. We never focused on evergreen because we always we had a live launch, then we were focused on kind of serving the cohort or the members and just doing our regular content up until the next live launch and the next pre-launch phase, essentially. But now that we have so many different offers, and we constantly have ideas for offers because we get these signals from our audience, right? And because we have we see it so strongly, what we said before, buyers buying again and our existing customers being really willing to invest into the next thing that we create. Of course, we want to keep creating new offers to help them on, with the next issue that they might face. But then if we create a product, we don't want to, spend dozens of hours creating and launching it and then just leaving it aside. Of course, we wanted to keep serving people and keep being put in front of people. And if you look at a typical content calendar in any business, you just have, if you look at the weeks you have in a year, you don't have that many promotional phases if you don't want to constantly bombard your audience, right?
Yeah.
And that's where evergreen funnels would just play a really important role in our content as well, simply to make sure that people are, being funneled here, being funneled here, being funneled there. If they are interested in the topic of whatever we are doing for the pre-launch, then they can join the live launch, whatever is happening there, whether it's a challenge, a bootcamp, a webinar. But then that might not be the thing they are currently looking to learn more about. Then they are better off in the evergreen funnel checking out a pre-recorded webinar or doing a pre-recorded challenge, because that's a much better fit for their current stage.
Yeah. That makes sense. Cool. If someone wants to go check out more about what you're doing and I guess mostly read what you're up to. You said you got the YouTube channel as well now. Where should they go?
You can go to writebuildscale.com. That will take you to our Substack right now, and there you can actually see all the stuff that's going on, everything that we're publishing, written as well as video.
Perfect. Amazing. Thanks so much for coming on and sharing your wisdom with everybody and what's been working for you. As always, dear listener, thank you so much for listening. Really, really appreciate you. We will see you next time. Thank you so much, Sinem.
Thanks for having me.